Good morning, everybody. Shift your mindset here. The tautology of the Jehovah Witnesses. Why this topic? There's a lot going on in the world right now. We have the assassination of Charlie Kirk this week. And people always tend to be, if they're leaving the religion or are in the religion, are Jehovah Witnesses maybe right? Because there's a lot going on, there's a lot of things happening, and always certain events work in the advantage of Jehovah Witnesses. Because they can say, oh, you saw that? Oh, this is a sign for the end. Or, oh, did you see that? This. And if you are leaving the Jehovah Witnesses, it can be an emotion that surfaces and say, hey, can they be right? So, this episode will be about the tautology of the Jehovah Witnesses. If you go to the formal definition of it, a tautology is a formula or statement that is true in every possible interpretation. For example, it will rain tomorrow or not. That's in the definition of tautology. It is a circular argument, and the conclusion just restates the premise. If we go to the Jehovah Witnesses, their belief system is one belief system that makes wide, sweeping generalizations. So they are almost right in every time. But if they are wrong, then it's suddenly new light of the governing body wants to clarify things, stuff like that. So that new light is then proof that their theory is right. So let's dive into the tautology of the two opposites. Same statement and you are right no matter what. If we look at Armageddon, and the last week's events also lead to that feeling again by the Jehovah Witnesses, oh, this is the end times. We had the outbreak of a war in the Ukraine. Many people around me said, oh, here we are. We are in the final days of the final days of the last days of the last days. But then we came to Israel and Palestine. Then we have leaders who are sitting down now in Russia and Ukraine to end the conflict. So if the war starts, it's, oh, here we go. We are in the final part of the final days. But if they are sitting together, negotiating peace and terms and that kind of stuff, then it's suddenly peace and security. That's also a sign of the end times. Yeah, did you hear that? Oh yeah, peace and security. Oh, we're not far from Armageddon. So history is full of conflicts. History is also full of peace negotiations, people. Every war ends sometime. But this time though, we're really there, people. And you keep having JWs sitting on the edge of their chairs, of their seats. You can use this mechanism time after time after time. But what is the sign that proves it? Waging war or making peace? For the witnesses, both, because the end is near. Same is for hard times and good times. If people are having fun, you see people laughing, you see people sitting in a bar, you see people sitting in a restaurant. Oh, this is just like Noah's day. They were drinking and eating and on holidays as if nothing is wrong. Okay. But if families are struggling, and a lot of families are struggling in the Jehovah Witnesses at the moment, if there's an economic crisis, or people are having difficulties with aging or whatever, then, oh yeah, these hard times are also foretold. Armageddon is near, so whether life goes well or badly, the outcome remains the same. Armageddon is just around the corner. So you keep the witnesses with circular reasoning in a certain loop. We all know the growth of the Jehovah Witnesses. We all know the decline of the Jehovah Witnesses. That's also a good one, because in the 80s we saw a lot of growth. Many people baptized, more than ever before. And it was foretold. And then you hear Isaiah 60, 22, verse 22. The numerical acceleration before Armageddon. God was gathering the sheep, stuff like that, was told in my early days here on planet Earth. That God was gathering the sheep, and Sven, you have to be a sheep, follow the leader. And imminent destruction was on its way. But now the growth is no longer there in those numbers. Preaching, house-to-house ministry is bearing no fruits. Literature card, my personal opinion, no one comes to talk to you. No Bible studies, stuff like that. So no one listens. And what do they say now? Oh, the harvest is almost over. We're at the end. So you know what I'm doing now? I'm reasoning like a Jehovah Witness. So it's also, this is a sign of the end if it's going well, and if it's going badly, then it's also a sign of the end. Either way, you can make it your own truth. The United Nations, same thing. They were strong now, back in the days, and they are weak now. Now, the growing influence of the United States. Oh yes, this is the end. The end is near. The power of that organization was enormous. And now they changed their tune. We should not expect Armageddon in your lifetime. But it is a plausible scenario. We should not expect, but you can expect it. You see that opposite in one sentence? That's what the governing body is doing. Same with corruption improvements. If crime or immorality increases, it's a sign of the end. Is it a decrease? Then Satan is disguising him as an angel of light. So the world looks like it's improving, but underneath it's Satan that disguises him in an angel of light. Earthquakes, oh, the end is near. Things haven't gotten worse now, but they say from the beginning fulfills the prophecy of the end. In any case, another confirmation that the end is near. And this logic is very simple if you see through it. Why? Because you have an event and its exact opposite. And they are both interpreted as a confirmation of the end that it's coming. So the mechanism is tautological, two-folded. Hypervigilance, and that's a standard thing in high controlled groups. Members, you have to keep your members continuously alert. Signs, warnings, maintaining fear, attention what is happening around you, and dependence on that organization who leads you through it. And to secure a discourse. You have a prophecy that predicts an event, and you have its opposite, and it can never be proven wrong. It only serves the people who believe they are always right, no matter what. And then the governing body sweeps in because they claim Jehovah is guiding us as governing body, and only us. We are directed by God's Spirit. The proof of it is we know this because we are the only ones who have a channel with Jehovah. He only explains the Bible through us, 11 men in New York. How do we know that they explain the Bible correctly as Jehovah Witnesses or as former Jehovah Witnesses? Because they are God's organization. It loops back. It's just a loop of reasoning, circular reasoning. The claim is supported by a claim, not by proof, not real proof. So, Jehovah Witnesses always say, yeah, we have the truth. They call their faith the truth, which makes leaving equal to leaving the truth. We know that Jehovah uses our organization. Why? Because Jehovah is using it. No external verification or whatsoever. Then we have those failed prophecies. 1914, the generation, 1975, Armageddon is coming. That prophecy, those prophecies have failed. But they say, they prove that we are still Jehovah's organization, because only Jehovah's organization would have the humility to adjust its understandings. And this is circular. Why? Because the mistake is used as proof of being right. Same with shunning, or to discipline somebody. We know this fellowshipping is loving because Jehovah's organization says that it is loving. And they are loving because Jehovah directs the organization. Circular reasoning. So that's also why it's sometimes so hard to explain to a Jehovah Witness what is happening in their organization. They are so stuck in a loop. It's like talking to a parrot. They know a few sentences and they repeat those sentences. Even if you give a Jehovah Witness, I gave a Jehovah Witness an article that rebuked what he was saying, and he didn't accept it as truth. It's an article in your organization, your literature of that organization, and still they are stuck in that loop. It's like a repeat button in your Spotify. They repeat everything in the same thing. But you can never go wrong in how the governing body is saying things. They discourage higher education, and now higher education is suddenly allowed. But they say the governing body wants to clarify some things. Like it was your fault as a Jehovah Witness that you interpreted it wrong. It's not our fault. So if somebody goes to higher education and is an exemplary Jehovah Witness, then it's all right. But if somebody goes to higher education and leaves the organization, then they can say, hey, we told you so. There are dangers. So they are allowing it, but on the other hand, they give you a picture about the dangers of it. So whatever happens with you, left or right, they are right. See, we allowed higher education, and he turned out to be a fine elder. He left the organization. Yeah, we told you so, that there are a lot of dangers on secular or higher education. So they are always right. And if you keep it general, then there's always in that whole thing something that is true. And this is the mechanism that the governing body is mastering themselves in. And it keeps the JWs in a loop inside those heads. They don't access critical thinking, it's circular reasoning. It has nothing to do with feeling, it is just programming in an infinite loop that always comes back to the same thing. And I find it very interesting, the mind of people. That's why my channel is Shift Your Mindset, because the mind is a hard thing to change. Because you're programmed, you're conditioned, you have experienced some traumatic things. That all is an influence to what is your normal state of mind. It's like a computer. It's a standard operating system that is reacting based on historic events in your life. So do your advantage with this, because tautology is powerful, because it excludes and it traps your critical thinking. Any evidence against the group of Jehovah Witnesses is reframed as Satan or the apostates are attacking the truth. Any correction is framed that proves that Jehovah is refining the organization. And that's why it's for us ex-Jehovah Witnesses or former Jehovah Witnesses so hard to understand how they can still deal with all the shenanigans that are going on in that organization. That suddenly you can have a beard, higher education, that you are allowed to toast, etc. We would think that people would wake up, that people think, hey, God can't change. The Bible is the Bible. The scripture isn't changing. The words in the Bible are not changing. Why is that organization changing so much? Are they maybe not guided by God's Spirit? That is critical thinking. But no, any correction they make is reframed as God is refining his organization. This is new light, and it keeps you in that loop, because everything you swallow it, that it is new light, you are stuck in that loop, because other changes are also Jehovah is patiently with his people on earth. That's why Armageddon is not here. So it's good that Jehovah isn't selfish and makes an end of this world now, because there are still so many people left who need to hear the truth, and we all want that as many people as saved as possible. So we praise Jehovah that he's not giving in now and starting Armageddon now. And maybe I'm not living to see Armageddon, but I'm sure that it's in the best interest and Jehovah is guiding his chariot and blah blah blah, all that nonsense what comes. So you can go both ways. They wanted in 1975 already that the world was dead. And now 50 years later, it's Jehovah's mercy and his empathy and compassion for human people that he doesn't start Armageddon now. So, you know, people, start your critical thinking. Take a moment and think about what I was saying in this video, that both scenarios are true for the Jehovah Witnesses. And that's not how life works. You can't have generalizations and say, take credit for everything you say and interpret it in a certain way. Oh, the end is near. Yeah, the end is near. There's a war coming. Yeah, World War III is maybe coming. Oh, you see that? Or you see all those events are triggering Jehovah Witnesses again, that they are on their toes, that they are alert, that they think, oh, the end is here. And when it goes a little bit better after that, they are not happy, but it's also a sign that the end is coming. Because Satan is suddenly an angel of light and does something that the world looks better now. So it goes like this, but Jehovah Witnesses goes like this. Nature also, it balances itself out. There are good times, there are bad times. They almost starving and then they have the rain season and they are getting new babies, feeding them, everybody happy, but it's ups and downs. I have also up and downs in my life. But Jehovah Witnesses have a loop that if it's an up, if it's a down, if it's positive, if it's negative, it's always a sign that Jehovah is guiding his people through that organization. And Jehovah doesn't need an organization. So take advantage of this video, share it with somebody who asks themselves also the questions, are Jehovah Witnesses maybe right? It's okay to feel that. It's okay to doubt sometimes. But step number 2, critical thinking. Is it true what I'm thinking? Research it and do your advantage with it. Thank you guys for watching. Wishing you guys a wonderful weekend and we see each other on the next episode.